Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing Black Bear. So Black Bear is a psychological thriller that's starring Aubrey Plaza, and it's about a film writer, who goes out into the wilderness. She stays with this couple out in this rural retreat in the middle of this vast wilderness. She's trying to find, her inspiration for her next story, and things really unravel very quickly, and I have to say, right away, this movie is extremely strange, and it does some really ambitious things that I personally enjoy. But if you're going into this movie expecting kind of a traditional thriller, I think you might be a little disappointed. So this movie is split up into multiple parts. So the first part of the film is a really more traditional psychological thriller, building tension, really well crafted, and then it makes a shift to a completely different movie in the second half. And that's something that can be a little jarring, but I personally liked where it was trying to go with its story, because in a way it's getting in the mind of the creative process and kind of self-indulgence in your art. And on the surface, it can be a little confusing, but I think if you stick through the whole film and you get to the very end, you'll understand it more and you can appreciate what it's trying to do. That being said, this movie does bite off a little more than it can chew a couple times. I don't think it's overwhelming at any point, but there are some scenes where you're like, what is happening? Why is this on screen? It's very confusing and it can throw you off. But I do think, like I said, if you stick through the whole film and you think back on it, you can enjoy it more. And I think it's a movie you could really enjoy having multiple viewings of. Aubrey Plaza is fantastic in this movie, and she's tasked with playing very different roles for different segments of the film. That goes for everybody in this movie. Christopher Abbott, who's in one of my favorite movies, It Comes at Night, does a really solid job. His character is completely different, like I said, from the first half to the second half, as well as Sarah Gadon, who plays one of the characters in the film. But I definitely think that Aubrey Plaza is the standout in this one. I have to say, when I first saw her in Parks and Rec, I kind of just pegged her for that. She was going to be April Ludgate, for the rest of her career, but she's done some really solid films, particularly in the past couple of years. Ingrid Goes West was a really good performance from her. I thought she was solid in the Chucky reboot, but this one is definitely a career performance for her. I think it's definitely her best performance to date, and I'm interested to see what she does going forward. I think she could be a really phenomenal thriller horror actress, but, she has really good deadpan comedy that goes along with this. This movie does have some dark comedy moments to it. Like I said, it's very ambitious. It tries to bite off a lot of different topics and themes and genres all in one film, and I think for the most part, it really does succeed. And like I had mentioned about tension in this movie, it is a masterclass in building that tension, particularly in the first half of the film. Thrillers really usually hang their hat on keeping you on the edge of your seat. You want to see what's happening. You feel this building. Something's going to burst. It's going to break the dam. And it happens, and it's satisfying. And I think they actually played off that really well and subvert expectations at times, particularly with the shift to the second half of the movie. And another thing that really works for this movie is the score. It has a really solid score, and the shift, like I said, between the first and second half moves with the score of the film. You have a very kind of creepy, thriller-like score in the beginning, and the second half is a little different. And I don't really want to spoil too much of this movie. Like I said, there's a shift, but I think it's something you should definitely check out. I think if I talk about both halves completely, it'll kind of take away from some of the things of the film. So overall, I really did enjoy this movie. It was not what I expected it to be. Going in, I saw the trailer, I saw the posters. I thought I was getting your normal thriller in the woods movie, something maybe creepy, you don't know what's going to happen, and then I got a completely different film, and I was definitely pleasantly surprised. So if I were to rate this movie, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Really solid, and you get a really amazing performance from Aubrey Plaza, some really ambitious things going on filmmaking-wise and storytelling. So yeah, I definitely would recommend checking it out. So if you've seen Black Bear, or you plan on seeing Black Bear, let me know what you think about it. I really want to see what people think about the whole tone shift and the whole splitting the movie in two halves. It reminded me in a way of Waves, a film that came out last year from A24, how you have a first part of a movie and a second part that's almost completely different. You can barely tell that they're the same film if you jumped in at both parts. So I'm interested to see what people think about that. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.